Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the instant match reaction. Newcastle United 1, Everton 2. A fantastic victory at St James's Park today for the Blues. Yeah, he's just gone. Apologies. Just a really good 3 points. It's always hard this time of year to put some results together, but if you can, it really does propel you up the league. And coming into this month, I was maybe slightly optimistic. I thought we could get 10 points out of this month, or we needed to get 10 points out of this month after everyone had told us how bad December was looking, and what we've ended up getting 11 points out of it. So from that point of view, it's been brilliant. We've nearly doubled our points almost, haven't we, from what we had under Marco Silva. And you know that I'm not saying it's a full transformation, but the differences are startling, I think, between what we had with the lone striker and everyone else 20 yards behind to having a free-flowing team, you know, with players flying forward and getting back. And obviously today he made 5 changes, much needed. He knew he couldn't play the same team. He knew it was all about legs. He'd already said that. He brought the likes of Leighton Baines and back. And it's funny, people like Leighton Baines coming back, because under Marco Silva, and I actually said this time last year, after we'd beaten Burnley 5-1, we went down to Brighton, and I think we might have made 1 change or possibly 2 changes, and we were flogging he was flogging the players because he didn't trust the other players, whereas Carlo Ancelotti's simply looked at it from a fitness point of view first, looking at it and thinking to himself, that team possibly can't sustain the levels, and we have to get the legs in. So straight away, that's sensible management. And people like Leighton Baines coming into the team. Obviously, he's played a little bit more recently with Dean being injured, so his legs are, have played a little bit more. But it's those little changes. And obviously, we've seen Michael Keane come in today for Mina, and Tom Davies come back into the side, and just those little changes, I think, made a massive difference. He kept the likes of, obviously, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Richarlison, Mason Holgate, players I think he knows are fit. I think they're young and they look after themselves, and they're fit no matter what. Excuse me. They're fit no matter what. They will run through brick walls. And I think today, Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin were absolutely fantastic. You know, I think in previous games, what was happening under Marco Silva was, if they weren't playing well, as in they weren't in the game, they weren't contributing. Maybe Richarlison a little bit less, because he always works hard. But certainly Dominic Calvert-Lewin, where I think since certainly Duncan Ferguson came in, I think what you're seeing out of them is maximum effort and making sure they're in the game, even when maybe it's not in an attacking sense. They're working hard. This is really annoying. They're closing people down, and I'm going to talk a little bit slower now. They're closing people down. They are getting in the faces of defenders, and they're getting into the game a lot more. And I think that showed today. Obviously, Dom scored basically with his first chance, and then obviously gets the winning goal from a great run from Richarlison. Nice tapping at the back post, even though it wasn't the cleanest of connections. It went in. That's all that matters. And that's for him is what he's got to. He's working hard all around the pitch, but now he's working hard to get into positions in the box as well. And I think that's hugely important. I think this is something that people forget, is how hard centre forwards work to get into positions, and that's what we've seen from Dom recently. He's working hard to get into positions. So those two are brilliant. Have been absolutely brilliant. And you know, the whole team worked hard today. We changed formation a couple of times because it was a difficult game. Andy Carroll was really good today, apart from throwing himself on the floor all the time. But he really impressed me how many duels he won in the air, let's be honest. And he gave Michael Keane a bit of a torrid time in the first half. And it was just about getting players round him. And, he's always a threat. And I thought towards the end, Sidibe, the little push, nearly give a penalty away. And but that might have been because he'd been throwing himself on the floor too much, Andy Carroll. But listen, they pegged us, they got the equaliser. Again, a really silly free kick. If I can criticise the players for one thing, is giving away silly free kicks. And people may argue that it wasn't a free kick. It's the fact that we are putting in challenges in silly areas and we're not being a little bit wiser to situations. But we responded brilliantly. The manager brought Delph on. He understood that we needed to get hold of the midfield. And, Keane was unlucky because he'd had a couple of chances. But he never scored. And it's fine saying, well, he's getting into the game. Both chances he had, he really should have scored. He made a little change. He put Richarlison on the right. And obviously his run was fantastic for the goal. And even at the back, he brought on, he brought on Coleman and Baines went off and he brought on Mina and he got his, he changed the whole of the defence and the midfield changed shape and Tom Davies went on the left and seeing like 2 or 3 formations in one game, it's incredible. Difference in game management. And what was the thing I always moaned about Marco Silva? It was in-game management. And it looks like we've got a manager who completely knows how to handle that. And listen, there's a lot of people I understand calling for Yeremy to come on a little bit earlier to deal with Andy Carroll, but only the manager knows, or the coaching staff know, what these players have got in the tank. And the manager might have looked at it and thought, well, you know what, if Andy Carroll wins a few headers, it's about reacting to the knockdowns. And we didn't do that well enough for the goal they scored. I don't quite understand why Sigurdsson was marking Andy Carroll for him to head it down. I don't know. A momentary lapse of concentration. I don't know. Or they're given assigned areas to go into and then mark up, part zonal, part man to man. You can't, I don't know. And that's the thing, is that you don't know. And Yerry Mina might have only had 10, 15 minutes really in his legs. And we've used him in those 10 minutes to see out the game, which I thought we did brilliantly well again, like we did the other day. And, you only have to look at the stats, possession, because the first half an hour we were so comfortable in that game. It was incredible. And if there's any criticism, is that's when we should have put the game to bed. It was a bit like Southampton. I mean, it played out completely like Southampton, but it was a bit like that we got a little bit comfortable. Where really you should be punching to finish the game off. But we didn't. So we responded brilliantly from them scoring, and we had a couple of more chances. And you look at how many shots we've had on target. Just seeing a stat before saying it's the most combined shot of 2 games of any Premier League team this season, I think. And the first time Everton have had that many in 2 games in something like 4 years or something like that, probably under Martinez. He really has made a difference since he's come on. Carlo Ancelotti, it's not simply about just talking to the players and lifting them. Tactically, he's had such a big difference. And I think as we go forward now, we're sitting 10th in the Premier League at the moment, 25 points, I think it is. We can confidently look up now rather than look down. And that's a huge thing, as we've still got half a season basically to play. Okay, tough game against Man City and then Liverpool in the Cup, but I think now we're starting to see we're making a few more chances, and with players to come back into the team as well, and other players to be fit as well. And it's weird because you go back a few weeks ago, certainly maybe around the time of the Dart. Well, Norwich was the real one, wasn't it? When you looked at it and you really, personally, I was really, really worried about the situation. But I was worried about the situation under Marco Silva. Now, because for me, he had nothing. I had absolutely nothing. And, the passion of Duncan Ferguson and now the tactical astuteness of Carlo Ancelotti, who's already got a magnificent song, and he's only been here 2 games. And he's the first. Only him, David Moyes, and Joe Royle have ever won their first 2 games as Everton managers. So it's it was just a really good win, a really positive win today, and a real springboard now going forward. 2 tough games that we've got through and won, and in Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring 3 goals in 2 games, you know, it's there for him now. It's there for him. He's added goals to his game, which I always thought, I mean, it was always the big thing missing, wasn't it? But I think now that I think he's got fans' confidence now as well. I think a lot of the people who thought he couldn't do it are now looking, going, well, you know what? He is actually a decent striker. He actually works really hard for the team, and he's adding goals to his game. And I think with a little bit more strength in midfield, another centre midfielder, another centre back, and maybe a playmaker, I think we've got the makings of a half decent. I don't want to go overboard, but you know what I mean, because this Premier League is wide open. It's still wide open. If we went on a good run in the second half of the season, we could still get Europe. I mean, and that's genuine when you look at the teams who are above us. So, fantastic win, fantastic 3 points, fantastic trip back for the away fans, and yeah, we can all breathe a little bit easier now, knowing that we're looking up rather than looking down. So, I'm delighted with that today. So, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to check out our other videos. Don't forget to subscribe, give this video a like, and if you want more videos, join us on Patreon. Thanks for watching. See you later.